Welcome to Overtime and Inferno, your weekly roundup of all the biggest stories in CSGO, quicker than Semler can never get hired at an event again. If you could rate and review us at the end of the episode, that would really help us. I'm Logan. This is Aizyesque. We have a variety of... Today's a little bit of a variety show that we have. We've got some stuff to talk about within the world of professional Counter-Strike. Then we have some... Bring back our old friend, the thought experiment.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the first
good thought experiment,
right?
Especially the experiment bit. I'm not so keen on thinking.
All right, so we'll start with the first bit. Blast fall spring back to the first year of the seventh decade. Spring fall 2021+1 finished up this last weekend.
The grand final
yeah,
final cut version 5.0. Seriously, final one this time, guys. But it's actually not because there's a grand final in December.
Yeah,
well,
that finished up this past weekend. Heroic won.
Heroic did it. They did it. They did the thing where they do the win, which they haven't done very much since going back offline. And I think, well, my biggest takeaway was that Outsiders really are the best team in the world.
Okay. You want to explain?
Look, Heroic are quite obviously the best team at that event.
Yes,
and that was like FaZe when they were actually like not in losing to Bad News Eagles form. This was like everyone like actually trying to win. Obviously they were at the major as well, but there was a lot of like upsets. This was like a relatively normal competition, all things considered, and Heroic won it, like beat people quite easily, pretty convincing in victory. Won a game that a couple of months ago they definitely would have lost, like when they sort of choked to overtime and then won it. Like that's new for them. Outsiders dicked them in a grand final. Like dicked them. The major grand final was boring because Outsiders was so much better than Heroic. And Heroic would just like have now been to grand finals twice in a row, looking very convincing on the way there. The only team who's beating them is Outsiders. Outsiders have now won 2 events in a row that they've actually been to. The only events they don't win are ones they don't go to. And that's when Heroic can win. What I'm saying is Outsiders are 2017 Astralis, and Heroic are Liquid. And FaZe is still FaZe.
FaZe will always just be
FaZe from 2017, yeah.
Okay. ...
You don't have to agree. I'm speaking for myself only.
I think you're right. I also don't know how much stock I put into the weird set of events after the major.
Look, Outsiders are going to win the next event they go to as well.
That's
people are going to actually start to go, oh shit, maybe we were wrong. Maybe they are the best team in the world.
So we'll talk about that next event, but we're going to talk about it next week or in 2 weeks. Next event that is coming up is like 2 weeks from tomorrow, Thursday, which will be Blessed Premier Fall Actual Final V7.
The real final version 0.2.
Yeah. The one in Abu Dhabi, which is has its own problems, and
yeah,
we have a variety of things to talk about with Blast for that. I want to talk about something else though. NIP. Remember that our old saying about NIP is that every time you lose faith in them, they start doing well again. What the fuck?
I don't even. I've just completely given up trying to figure out what's going on with NIP. I just sort of like let them exist.
Okay.
It's just not worth trying to figure stuff out. Like, what's the point?
Okay.
Why would you bother trying to analyze NIP when every week they're different anyway? Just let them be. Let them exist.
Just let them go.
They'll probably win an event at some point, and then we'll just be forced to say, well, they're going to go out last next event. We just have no other choice.
Okay.
The roller coaster of NIP keeps going up and it keeps coming down afterwards. That's how roller coasters work. When people talk about like a roller coaster team, they mean it's like this, but there's always like an end. No, NIP are an actual roller coaster because it's like a cycle, and it
yeah.
actually just never stops. They're just going like this forever.
Well, here's the thing with NIP is that they actually do the loop to loop in the roller coaster because
Yeah,
they'll have that real high point and then come crashing down
yeah,
immediately.
yeah,
It's like they'll get to the point where you think they're good, but then they just make a huge regression and just come right back. Yeah,
yeah. They are. They're interesting. I mean, the thing is, they beat Na'Vi 2-1, which is obviously like the flagship result for them. Like that's the result you hang your hat on. Like we're good. We just beat Na'Vi 2-1. But I have no idea how good Na'Vi are.
no, Navi look like they're ready to make a move with some Young. We had kind of been singing his praises for a little bit as being a warm body in the server, but it turns out Navi may need a little bit more than a warm body.
Yeah, if Simple isn't like 1.5 at every event form, and Bit isn't the same player he was last year, and Electronics now in-game leading, you need a little bit more than some Young. But also, I think whoever they put in that position isn't going to do much more than some Young because they have to accommodate for everyone else.
So I don't remember where I saw this. My bet was on the deepest of Reddit threads or HLTV threads, but someone was saying that they replaced some Young with Hobbit.
Yeah, that's a rumor. I think Overdrive said they're going to.
If Overdrive said it, then I believe
I
it.
think it was Overdrive.
Okay.
I've definitely seen it. A Hobbit to Na'Vi is a rumor.
I hate it, but
really, I kind of like it. I can't explain why. It just feels right.
I hate it because I like the Cloud9 roster. I don't hate it for Na'Vi.
I feel like Cloud9 probably need a little bit of innovation, a little bit of something else.
Yeah, but
I'm not sure Hobbit would be the one I would replace. But they do need something else.
Yeah, that's where I think the Cloud9 roster should change. I think the Na'Vi roster should change. I just don't think it should be Hobbit that does the jump.
They should both be trying to sign Jerry.
Honestly, that it wouldn't be the worst thing I've ever heard. I mean, Jerry has obviously made proven talent through Forza. It's worth a try. I mean, you're looking for an IGL, at least on Na'Vi. I mean, I know that they say that they're not, but like...
Yeah, they're not going to.
Just annoying.
If they're not going to, though, they should transition Electronic into more of an overqualified support player and just get another star. That would just be great. Be a terrible idea, but just so much fun.
Speaking of overqualified stars, did Nipple play in Blast? I don't think he did.
I don't remember. I was very preoccupied with the World Cup, so I can't remember exactly if he played.
He didn't play in the Liquid game. He didn't play in the Fluxo game, which is when you and I recorded last week, and we were like, if he has a chance to play in a game, this is the game.
Yeah, he didn't play against NIP either.
He didn't play against NIP, so waste of bringing a player in. But we also just still don't know how he looks.
Hasn't he changed his name to NPL now? I'm not happy about it.
I mean, isn't it pronounced exactly the same?
Probably, but now it's not as funny. He's not called Nipple anymore.
Yeah, but Magis Boy changed his name to Magisk and made it less funny, but like we don't still call him Magis Boy.
Yeah, well, he's just like he's at his second stage evolution. When he hits a certain age, he's going to turn into Magisk Man, and then he's gonna his stats are going to improve. It's like Pokemon.
Let's talk about a team that I don't know where to place them. I don't know if they underperformed, overperformed, or performed exactly where they were expected to. Team Liquid.
Yeah, Team Liquid they're a little underwhelming because third, fourth isn't bad.
No.
Out of 8.
And the teams that the teams that they're like against, I'd say right now we're putting Heroic at number 2 in the world in the official TLDR. Shut up, Siri. In the official TLDR rankings. Right? Like
yes.
But
you still kind of think they could be a little bit better. You still think they could be number 2 in the world. They could be number 3. They could win events like this. I mean,
they could be number 3 in the world. They didn't play FaZe this event at all. So they could be a better team than FaZe. I wouldn't put it past them to be a better team than FaZe right now.
Yeah. But also... I also wouldn't feel confident in doing it.
No, but I also wouldn't feel confident in saying FaZe is a better team than Liquid. I have no confidence.
No, but I think that's probably easier to defend as a point.
Yeah, I Liquid to me feel like the expectations are really high, but there's no good reason why the expectations are really high because they took a
Oh no, there is good reason.
okay, there's very good reason, but to me it's like you add all the reasons together and it's like 17 small reasons and then you Kindar on top.
Unfortunately, and I really, really do hate to say this. It pains me to say this. Harry was right. OC isn't good enough for this team to be the best team in the world.
But you know who was good at this event? Nick Nitro Canella.
Yeah, well, that's not going to last either, is it? Like,
No, but
you know,
it's
he's just
to
he's
me
Captain America. It was Thanksgiving. It's national holiday. It's like, you know, it's a freak aligning of stars. It's not going to happen again.
to me it's one of those things that if he can do this every once in a while, there's definitely there's plenty of players in the world that you know what he feels like to me? He feels like American Chopper.
I hate it.
He,
I hate it.
he feels like American Chopper to me because yeah, he's kind of shit. But
Hang on.
well,
You're talking about playoff C like
hold
that.
hold on. He's kind of shit, right? Other than IGLing, but once in a while, he does stupid things inside the server that you go, where was this the rest of the year? And then he goes back to just kind of being the fourth best player on the team.
You know, Chopper's rating in playoffs is 0.2 higher than his rating in group stages over the last year or so.
I would love to tell you.
C. You know how Paul George called himself playoff P?
Yeah.
I'm calling playoff C. He actually turns up in playoffs.
I'd love to give you a thing of Nitro of group stages versus playoffs, but in typical Liquid fashion, they go 3-3 in groups and don't make playoffs.
Yeah. But they made playoffs at this event and he was good. I think the fact that Nitro was good and Liquid still didn't win the event is cause for concern.
Yeah, OC is. Elige had a weird event too.
It does feel like only one of Elige or Yakindar can pop off at a time.
It's not both of them,
which is fine because you usually only need one to win the game.
And to be fair,
it is a thing.
They played against Heroic, which is kind of their nemesis at this point, at least in the past little while, right? They played well against Heroic, right? They lost 16-10, they won 19-17, they lost 16-9. The 16-10 overpass game was a little closer than I think it says. But it wasn't like a total blowout.
No, but it's still comfortable. Like 16-10, 16-9 is comfortable. It's when it's like 16-13, 16-40, you can go, well, you know, there's like 1 or 2 rounds if they go different. Like when it's 16-9, you're like, yeah, okay, we got beaten quite comfortably.
Yeah. Liquid continues to flummox me.
Yeah, I've stopped having faith now. I think it doesn't matter how good Yakindar is. It doesn't matter how good Elige is. They just need an AWPer. And it's a shame because I quite like OC, and you can see mechanically he can be really good, but he just doesn't impose his will on the game in the same way a top tier AWPer does. But I don't know who you get to improve them either. That's the difficult part. Like you can get another European, but I'm not sure which European.
What European
is available? Yeah, like I don't know who's available that you can get.
You know who would have been great?
Device.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but yeah, we'll talk about Device in a minute.
Assuming, yeah, I mean, you might be able to get Brokey. So I guess he got MVP at this event, so you won't. Never mind. He was on the.
Speaking of which, this event gave us a continued portion of some of the greatest photos on the internet, which is the team losing in the finals, a player on it getting the MVP award.
Yeah, but Brokey actually looks happier than he does normally.
Yeah, Brokey looks normal here.
He looks more upset when he's lifting the trophy after winning than he does holding the MVP after losing. I've always said, like, when I play this game, you know, people say, oh, I don't care if I play badly as long as I win. Oh, I do. I'd rather play well and lose. That way it's not my fault when I can go to bed happy.
I mean, like, I'm looking at this photo, right? He's just kind of like got a smirk across his face.
Yeah, which is unusual. He normally looks miserable.
Yeah, and it doesn't really help the variety of other FaZe clan members of them winning MVPs after events in which they didn't win, because I think the only other person in this category is Twists,
Yeah, and
in which he just
his
looks
is genuinely miserable. Yeah, his
is
is awful.
legendary. We got three more teams to talk
It
about.
looks like somebody just like trod on his foot.
We got three more teams to talk about. Where I'm going to knock two of them out quickly. Fluxo, they got outclassed. They weren't
Yeah,
expected to do anything. They didn't do anything.
yeah, pretty much.
OG, Dagster and Flames need a new home.
I am. Yeah, I'm not convinced Flames is actually that good. Dexter is that good. But
I think the tier, if you're on video, you'll be able to see this. Is like Dagster here, right? Flames is here, and then everyone else is like down here.
no, I don't think Flames is much better than Neofrag.
You don't think so? I think
No,
I think he's at least shown more of a ceiling.
he's also shown a pretty like shit floor as well though. Like he has events where he's good and he has events where he's dog shit, which is kind of normal. They're still a very young team. I think
Yeah.
that's also the case. But like Dexter, I think there probably is something in what Team Spirit said about Dexter when he left, in that he can be quite like the game revolves around Dexter. Like he demands things. He wants to play in his style, and it does seem to make players around him play a little bit worse. But you also kind of let him off because he's Dexter. So
I mean, he's the only one doing anything, and
yeah,
but like sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes that's a not good thing. So.
yeah. So sometimes it's good because you can get yourself out of a rut. But if he isn't taking over the game, then you are a little bit lost.
Yeah. The last team I want to talk about is G2, who
who fucking knows, man.
This team had so much.
Cursed.
This
There's
team
no
had
other...
so much time. They were they were. Everything was great. They had so much time off because they didn't have the major to deal with, and Nico just got to sit at home and fucking do aim bots for 17 years, right? And Hooksy was able to prepare for a matchup against one of three teams like for 2 months, and then they lose 2-0 to Liquid in the opener. And then they lose 2-1 to Heroic in the quarters.
I remember when G2 signed JKS, you weren't particularly on board for it.
Nope.
And I was, with my logic being, well, it's G2, you might as well just embrace the chaos and just sign a bunch of the same player and see what happens.
Nope.
You were right.
Yep.
JKS does not work on this team whatsoever.
Nope.
Just put Hunter back to lurking, swap out JKS for... I don't know. I don't even know what. Like the roles don't make any sense on this fucking team. Because
put some Die Young there, the resident warm body.
Yeah, the roles just don't make sense because Hunter was one of the best lurkers. He was the only reason this team was as good as it was. You've got Nico, who, yeah, you want him as a uber aggressive. Like he's very aggressive off the default, and that's fine. But you probably don't want him entering when you actually go into sites, which is, I guess, is the idea that JKS does because that's what he did when he was on FaZe. But like, I don't know. This team, it seems so odd. Like Monacy is looking really good, and they're like still losing, and it's like Hooksy is obviously a problem, but I also think JKS is a problem because he doesn't seem to fit in with this team. He isn't putting up great numbers. He looks like the complexity JKS and not the FaZe one.
Okay. Yeah, I can get behind that.
He doesn't look like a superstar like he used to. Which is a shame, because he was really good.
And I think my thing with JKS on looking like a superstar is on none of the teams he's been on recently was he said, you be the guy. Other than the FaZe stint when he was in for ROPS.
Yeah, I think even then it was... The last time he was the guy was on Renegade /100 Thieves. And he was really good.
Yeah. I think he
But
has to be. I think so, you know how we just said like Dagster's got to be
the guy.
he's got to be the guy. I think JKS might need to be the guy.
You get the feeling that JKS doesn't demand it though. He doesn't seem
Yeah,
like the type of guy who wants, not that wants the team built, but he's not the type of guy who's going to be like, I'm the fucking guy.
I'm the guy.
Put me in the clutches. Put me in the position. I will win the fucking round. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy.
And on
And when you're playing with Nico and
yeah,
Hunter, you need to be like, you
the,
need to tell them because, well, actually, it probably doesn't matter if you tell them.
yeah, it doesn't
Listen.
matter. But I
You need
I
Hooksy to tell them.
I don't know where the rumor came from, but there was rumor that Kassad was joining this G2 team as the coach.
Yeah.
Instead of Extaz. Wait, Extaz isn't there anymore either. They just don't have a coach right now.
Is that true?
I don't
I
know
don't
if
even
that,
remember.
I don't know if that's
think
actually true. Or,
apparently, it's Swanee.
yeah, they don't have
Who
a
I
coach
think
right
was
now.
an assistant coach.
They don't have a coach right now. So like Kassad coming in may actually help JKS because obviously that's a coach that JKS is known for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Renegades coach, then 100 Thieves coach, then Extremum coach, then back to 100 Thieves coach.
I don't remember.
All over the fucking place. But he may be able to unlock JKS in a way that others won't, and he may be able to stand up for him, but I still don't think that JKS is a good fit for this team. So
I don't even know where you go. Like Hooksy is quite obviously an issue. Like I know it's funny and I know it's like overdone, but he really doesn't frag. Like he just does not frag, and the A1S nerf is not going to make that any better.
No.
Let me tell you, the A1S nerf covered for a lot of bad players, and even with it, Hooksy was not a fragger, and he will never be a fragger. And G2 have got problems, but also they do have problems. But they could also go and win the next event they go to, and you'd be like, yeah, fair enough. Like they still could. They won't, but they still could.
Yeah. You got anything else you want to talk about this event? Any other bits?
No. Let's not talk about Abu Dhabi.
We'll talk about Abu Dhabi in 2 weeks, I think. I want to do a very quick note that ESL Impact Season 2 finals happened. We're not going to talk about it because we want to do a bigger dive on it next week.
Yeah, we want to actually give it some...
We want to give it time that it deserves, and neither of us got to watch it this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. I did some research into it after the fact, but we want to actually like speak to people who
know what's going on,
who know what they're talking about, and can give you a much better overview than me or Logan can.
Yeah. We don't want to shaft anyone here, so we're gonna move this to a later date, and we will talk about this. We will come back to this. So, thought experiment. That's where we're at now. So the reason this thought experiment, I think we actually did once about 2 years ago, and the idea is national Counter-Strike teams. There's a twofold reason that we're doing this now. One is, well, the World Cup's going on, and as an American, I am now interested in soccer for the 1 month ish that the World Cup goes on, and then I will be disinterested again for the next 3 years. So America, and then two is because over in the League of Legends stuff, there has been quiet chatter about them talking with the next Olympic organizers to either add League of Legends to the Olympics or create a simul event kind of thing that has League of Legends there. So with all of the nationalistic talk for esports happening, nationalistic stuff regardless of esports and within esports, I wanted to go to a quick power ranking of basically what do we think that the, let's say, top 5, top 6 countries would be for Counter-Strike, and what would their team be?
Oh, the obvious two are Denmark and Russia, right?
Denmark, I think Denmark, Russia, Ukraine, I think is actually our...
Yeah, okay, yeah, Ukraine. Yeah, you're talking like simple bit.
I mean, just simple bit to start might be enough.
Yeah, that actually, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, they're already top 3. Russia. I mean, like you got 4 members of Outsiders are Russian immediately, like,
and all of
Spirit are Russian. Like
Cloud9.
you're gonna struggle, and Electronic and Cloud9. Russia could put out 4 teams.
I was
and
gonna say
they'd still be good.
this starts to be the quote unquote problem, because we're gonna start to have issues with finding the
Christ, who the hell do you put in from Russia?
Yeah, this is the problem, is we're gonna start to have issues with what is it? I don't know why I can't think.
Monarchy's Russian as well. I was hoping he was Ukrainian. That would make things easier.
No,
it wouldn't actually, because you'd be on a team with Simple.
We're gonna have issues picking between people from a country. That's gonna be our number one issue, right? There's like, I can tell you what the American team off the top of my head is, basically. I can tell you what the Canadian
team probably makes top 10, right?
America probably picks. Actually, I think Canada is a better team than America.
Yeah, that's true.
Because NAF exists and Twists exists, and it doesn't matter who else is on that team. But
Twist really does help. Brazil are top 10, but I'm not sure how good they are. France would have been top 10 a while ago. Now I'm like, they've got to be better than America, though. They do have Zywoo.
Okay. So I'm pulling up regional rankings. So where do we want to start? We want to start Russia?
Yeah, Russia, like, this is tough. I think, because the problem is, you want to have James as your IGL.
That would make sense. He's the current major MVP, but he's an offer.
Yeah, and you can just have Monacy and then have like Electronic in-game lead.
And I assume that we're just relegating Simple to the rifle.
Simple's a Ukrainian. That's fine.
That's a good voice. I pulled up CIS.
Electronic, Monacy.
Okay.
Flit.
Okay.
Oh god, they're all entry frag. All the good Russian players are entry frag, because you've got Fame, Axile, Electronic, and Patsy are all like really aggressive.
This is what makes this hard, is because is Russia just gonna roll out with just an all entry frag, all aggressive always team?
I think it's Axile, Fame. I think it's Axile, Fame, Flit, Monacy, Electronic. And I think that team is better than the team Denmark can put out.
Okay, so let's
think that team wins.
Okay. That's our Russian team, and you think that that's the best team in the world that we could put together?
I think so.
Okay.
But is it better than just like, because the Danish team is just heroic?
Is it just are we sure
it is? Well, the thing is,
because why
would you change them? Because they are the best team in the world against international teams.
I understand.
So why would you change that? Like, just keep the synergy.
Yes, but like, if we're fucking with a team, we could take Cadian out, and we could put
you don't want to take Cadian out,
but you could put Device in if he's okay.
But then they don't have an in-game leader.
That's why you put Glaive in, and then
but Cadian's better than Glaive.
But we could put actually, you could put Carrigan in.
But then who AWPs?
No, you put Carrigan and Device in for Shush and Cadian.
Nah, you don't get rid of Shush. If you take anyone out of this team, it's Tessus, I think.
I think it's Tessus?
I think so. It's not Shush and it's not Stown.
It's not Stown, I know that.
I think it's Tessus. I think Tessus is... But I'm not sure, but I think Tessus is worse than Yabi. Shush is too good. You can't get rid of Shush. He's insane. Shush is fucking ridiculous. There's not a single thing Shush does badly. He has no weakness in his game. He's amazing. He's really good.
So this starts to be the problem, is right. Like, yes, Heroic is the best team in Europe, best team in Denmark, but Carrigan exists.
There's Carrigan. Somebody would say blame F, and then I'd slap them.
I'd say no. You notice I did not bring up blame F.
Yeah, somebody would. Harry, that's you. Harry would do that if he was here. And
that's why we're doing this. This is why we're doing this on our own.
I will say, actually, if you put blame F on Heroic, I'm more interested. Because Cadian forces his team to be aggressive. So blame F, if he was aggressive, might be good to watch. He might be a good player.
Okay, so
again, I don't know who you take out for this Heroic team. I can't in good faith tell you to cut anyone on this team, because they're the second best team in the world.
Okay, so we'll say heroic is just heroic, but I think that I if we're saying that heroic is just the Danish team, then wouldn't the heroic team be better than the Russian team?
I
Because
don't
there
know.
is some sort of synergy just sitting in we're sending
It
you
would
the heroic
definitely
team.
help, but like also that Russian team sounds mad. Like it's all well and good having synergy, but you're still like pushing into Fame, Flit, Axile, Monacy, Ele- the worst player on that team is, I think it's Fame, who is, he was in contention for major MVP, and I think he's the worst player on that team. Not by much. You could argue the worst player on that team is Electronic. There's a lot of firepower on that Russian team.
All right,
Russia and Denmark are top two. I don't think
Russia's
there's
and Mark
any
top
doubt
two.
about that. Ukraine's almost certainly third, where you just have simple Someday Young.
One bit, Monacy.
So yeah, maybe not Someday Young. Simple Bit.
Oh no,
Monacy's Russian.
no, Monacy's Russian. Yeah.
Uh, there's going to be some good
Wonderful.
players I've forgotten.
Wonderful,
Yeah,
and say
Wonderful
simples
on
on it. Simples on rifle. Wonderful's on
Wonderful can kind of rifle actually. I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind seeing him rifle.
it's where's the floor of Wonderful's op versus ceiling of simple's
Yeah,
rifle.
but I think Wonderful's good enough on a rifle that you could get away with it. But there's almost certainly better Ukrainian riflers that I just can't think of the top of my head. Oh, I mean, Nipple's Ukrainian. Maybe he's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sensei always used to be good, but I think he's also an AWPer. There will be some good Ukrainians that I've forgotten about. And it kind of doesn't matter because you have Simple and
Simple,
Bit.
yeah, you simple bit to start.
Like that should be good enough. You probably do just take Someday Young.
Do you bring Boomich out of retirement? No, wait, he's Russian.
He's Russian. He's also not retired. He's just sleeping.
he's vibing.
I'll tell you who's low key got a good team. It would be Israel. I think Israel might be top 10.
Okay, so let's get a general ranking going, right? Russia, Denmark, Ukraine. Do we put Brazil next? Because Brazil and US and Canada have all good shots.
Brazil are better.
Brazil well, and Brazil, US, Canada, Sweden sound like next four to me.
I don't think Sweden are that good.
Sweden is just take nip. Sweden is just take nip and put in a Swedish player instead of Esatag. You put a
Alexei as well.
No, but you look at this. You just put a Swedish opera in. They'll actually get us an opera.
What Swedish opera is there?
There's got to be one.
There isn't. That's why they've got like nobody. They've got nobody open because there's no Swedish open. I mean, they had Nork and they got rid of him, but I don't think he's any good anymore. Or Chauzy.
Bring back Twist.
Yeah, exactly. That's the depths we're going to here. Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure Sweden would be better than Israel. Think about how good the Israel team would be. Spinks, Flames, Exertion would be your rifle corps.
And what is it, like Shushan after that?
Yeah, it's probably like Shushan and Anarquez.
See, like that, I could vibe with that.
we already have the Kosovo national team. It would just be Bad News Eagles minus Regon.
Yeah.
German would probably just be big as well.
I actually think you make changes on big.
Who do you put in?
JDC.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair.
I think it's required for you to put JDC in the team.
They make top 10. Oh god, okay. It's so sad that you can't put Poland up there anymore. You would have been. There's a period of time where you could have put Poland.
No, you just say fuck it. You unretired the Golden Five, and add Diha somewhere in there, and you say fuck it.
Kiku maybe, yeah, yeah. I don't like it though.
Oh god, there's
good. It's just Danish, aren't they? They're all just Danish.
The low key interesting teams here. So America really quickly would be Nitro, Elige, OC, Floppy.
Does Nitro really make it? I feel like he doesn't.
Okay, so I mean, the problem is the continual
There is
issue
no,
with
there is no one
American
else. Yeah,
IGLs is
understand there's no
non-existent.
one else, but I'd almost just not play with an in-game leader. Just go fully NA and just go.
I mean,
No
if you're going
in-game
full
leaders.
NA, it's gonna be Elige, OC, Floppy, Grim, and like automatic.
Yeah, I kind of prefer that. Fuck it, Stewie 2K in-game leader again.
God no,
Bring him back.
God no. The Latvian team could be kind of slap. Could kind of
Well,
slap.
you've got Brokey and Yakindar and Flarich, I think, and I don't know.
Yeah, but who
else you
cares
got.
about anyone else? You have Brokey and Yakindar.
Yeah, I do think. Look, as good as Brokey is in clutches, that's asking a lot.
Well, Yakindar will put him in a clutch every single round because he'll just go and get 2 entries and then die.
I don't know about that. He's pretty hit and miss.
That's the point. Brokey will just always be in the clutch because he's hit or miss.
Kazakhstan would overperform, but they wouldn't do too much. I think the Brazil team's interesting. I don't know who you put on a Brazil team because it's probably just like
It's probably
Furia plus Dumao.
Are you sure?
Dumao's really good, but then again, like the only person you can take out is safe on Art. You could maybe swap Art for Taco.
Would you not take out Drop?
Not after Rio Major. He was fucking cold at the Rio Major. I was unsure on him, and then like the biggest event of his entire career, in front of the pressure of that crowd behind him, and he fucking stood up tall and was fucking great.
You don't want to put K and G on that.
The only people you can really take out are Safe and Art, and then it's like
I'd
consider Dumao Orping over Safe, but
no, you put Art back onto the op.
No. We're not putting Art on the AWP.
Um,
In a meta where everyone saves the AWP, you want to put Art on the AWP.
Yes. Fury have always gone against the grain of literally everything ever, so I'm in.
Yeah, but like, it kind of doesn't matter. Like, if as long as you have KS Harato, you'll be in the top 10. Like KS Harato is maybe the best player in the world at the moment.
I have the Canadian team. Right. And I think it's probably better than the American team. So it's Naf and Twists.
Yeah.
Fang.
Yeah.
Hexed.
Yeah.
And then your choice of John G or DJ.
John G. I don't know who. I guess the in-game leader for that team is Fang. Apparently, he does some mid-round calling on.
It's Naf just saying do whatever you want, and then they do whatever they want.
You have Fang in-game lead because then you can have John G as your like.
John G's your hardest entry fragger. You know,
yeah, which it would be Fang, but if Fang can be a bit more like cerebral, and then you just make John G run in. Is there really only 4 better players than John G in Canada? Like, I like John G.
I like John G too. So the way I'm doing this is I'm on regional rankings, and I just went to North America and clicked all of them, and so I'm looking through. So that's top 5. I mean, I could start scrolling through a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right.
But we'd have to start thinking and make like actual decisions at that point, which is terrifying.
Yeah, and I'm not sure any of these are worth considering. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think the US one might be better. But
US may be better because Elige is there, and we still think Floppy's good, even if the rest of that team is.
Oh yeah, debatable. Floppy is good. Floppy is really good.
And just Elige and Floppy on its own, it's kind of.
The Spain team would just be Movistar with Sun Pius back. They might actually be all right. That team might actually be pretty good again. They were 5th in the world at one point.
All right, I think let's put some actual rankings to it. So,
all right,
Russia.
Yeah.
What was
Denmark.
it? Ukraine.
Then
a little weird.
I think
Brazil.
Maybe Brazil. Because Furia are really good.
Yeah. I'm thinking Brazil.
Germany,
US. Germany, US, Spain,
Israel.
I'm
really all in on Israel. Okay, I really think they'd be good.
Canada.
There's got to be somebody we're forgetting.
I think at this point you put Sweden, because they'll take GW out of retirement to op or some shit like.
But I mean, yeah,
not actual retirement.
Maybe Kosovo 10.
Yeah.
What about Finland? Would Finland still have a half decent team?
I don't think they've got players are all over the place in Finland.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
I know that doesn't
Well,
preclude them from
Crims would
being.
go back. Crims would go to NIP. That's who you'd add.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't think we can. No, I think we have to put France in the top 10. Like, I do think ZywOo is just like ZywOo plus like Heat or
ZywOo plus
ZywOo
Heat
on ZywOo on Falcons
minus NBK.
minus anyone. It doesn't really matter. Like, just put ZywOo on Falcons. They make top 10.
Well, wait, no, ZywOo on Falcons minus Kenny S.
Yeah, there you go. that team's better than like.
I think that's better than current Vitality. Let's be really clear.
Well, it's certainly better than a team with like John G or DJ on it.
I think that's probably right. So 9.
I think we drop Canada out the top 10. I don't think Canada are better than like Brolan Rez.
Okay, and where? I think this is I think my last bit on the
Twist is really good though.
Twist is really good. Twist Snap is just so good.
Oh man, I don't know.
Oh, you know who you pull out for Sweden? You pull Draken in for Sweden as the op.
Oh, for fuck's sake. How's Draken? That's the thing. I haven't even thought about what Draken's done since he's come
He's on
back
Into
to
the
CS.
Breach.
Yeah, but like, is he any good?
I have no clue. The only reason
exactly what I mean. I've got no idea.
the only reason I pulled it up is to see who would be in addition to Messi on the inevitable UK team that gets last place.
His ratings are actually pretty good, but he is playing for pretty mediocre team. So we'll see.
All right.
That's the first I've thought about Draken in a while.
Australian national team is just old Renegades. Run it back.
Yeah.
Even with Greyhound existing, old Renegades is still a better team.
Yeah, but they did have Jakame, who's Norwegian, so you'd probably have to replace him for who are the good Australian players?
So it's JKS, it's Azure, it's Liaz, it's I guess Gratisfaction.
Nah, you can't put fucking Sterling in ahead of him.
Sterling. Okay, so Sterling.
And also, Grat was New Zealand, which doesn't help.
That's right. Sterling, and then do you just say fuck it and put Dexter in and have Azure and Dexter?
You can have Dexter.
Double IGL.
I'd have Dexter over Azure and swap Azure out for INS.
No,
or
you know what? Fuck it. Put Sponge in, and that's the best
don't
movie.
Don't put Sponge in. Just put like Ince in there or something, or Sicko. Like, just put one of the Greyhound players who's not horrible. Like Ince is pretty decent.
Yes, for a lot. You could put Savage. Or any of the former.
I don't think Savage is actually good though.
Well, any of the ex Encore LFO players. Malta.
I think Ince is just like the best player in the region, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've watched Australian Counter-Strike, but
they're probably just out of top 10.
Yeah, not far off, but I don't think they're better than like. That's the thing. Like, Twist's NAF is so much star power. ZywOo on his own is so much star power.
Yeah, and like we haven't talked about like the weird region team, like Bosnia and Herzegovina, which is gonna have Nico Hunter plus 3 FPL players plus like 3 face at level 8s or something like that. Like,
yeah, there will be somebody else from Bosnia that we're forgetting almost certainly. I mean, Estonia will have ROPS and HS. That's about it. And Supra as well.
It's like, yeah, like there's gonna be a lot of teams with just like 1 or 2 players who are really good from the region, and then like a bunch of like face level 5 players that were just asked.
If Guardian was still around, then Slovakia would be decent because they've got him and Frozen and Sticko, right?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure Sticko, Guardian, Frozen.
All right, so basically what we have here is that while Russia won't win the World Cup for they're not in it reasons.
Neither will Denmark because they're not in it anymore.
Neither will Denmark, but they may win the CSGO World Cup.
You would fucking well hope so, wouldn't you?
Coming soon.
If Heroic don't win the World Cup, but I've got questions.
You know what? Maybe we just turn the tables completely and have them actually play soccer/football. Like SK and VP did.
Now that'd be interesting.
I would pay to watch for that. I would pay to watch.
I'd love to know I'd like to know who's actually good at football.
What you have to remember is that half of like Scandinavian players were I was really good at football and then I got injured, so I started playing a lot of Counter-Strike.
That's true. Isn't Crim's really good?
That's how Olaf got started. Like that's
Oh,
half
is it
the
Olaf?
players.
It's Olaf. Yeah.
That's half the players is just like, I used to be good at soccer and then I got injured and now I play Counter-Strike.
I will say, like, a lot of people say that, and it's often a lie.
But okay,
Like,
either
everyone went to school with somebody who claimed they would have been a professional footballer if they didn't get injured. I know somebody who says that, and he wasn't that good.
bro, you don't have to talk about yourself. You could just say I.
Oh no, I was dog shit. Don't worry about that.
All right, we're gonna be done for the week. Hope is that next week we will be talking about ESL Impact with someone who knows more about it than us. We'll talk about Blast. We may do a little bit of a retrospective on how this Blast went. We may not, but we'll talk about Anubis a little bit further after it's been out. We'll get into a little bit of pre-Blast finals fallback V7. But other than that, you can find us on Twitter at Logan Ramhap at Elliot BF.
Hopefully I'll be back soon. I realized I had an email from them saying, oh yeah, you just we'll reinstate you for 48 hours once you've read the Twitter rules and you can change these things, and if they're changed you'll be okay. But I did not see that email for 2 weeks, so I've now responded to it. Hopefully they'll reinstate me and I'll be back. But for now it's at Elliot BCFC.
And possibly at Aizyesque,
Yeah.
and at ReedTLDR. We will be back again next week with the things that I talked about before. Goodbye.